Question 10. Create a matrix to represent the following candy bar sales. Use students as the rows and types of candy bars as columns. This is on our Modern Math review assignment for our Semester 2 benchmark. Jonathan sells 10 milk chocolate candy bars, 8 almond, 4 crispy, 6 caramel, and 3 dark. Taylor sells 9 milk chocolate, 4 almond, 11 crispy, 15 caramel, and no dark. Chris sells only 2 milk chocolate, 1 almond, 1 crispy, 2 caramels, and 1 dark to his mom. What are the dimensions of the matrix? Okay, so let's analyze how we're setting this up first. So we're using students as the rows. So let's identify the students. We have Jonathan for row 1, Taylor for row 2, and Chris for row 3. We're not actually going to write down their names. I mean, I guess we can, but I'm not planning to. And then for the columns, we are going to do candy bars as the columns. So types of candy bars, we have milk chocolate, almond, crispy, caramel, and dark. So we have 1, 2, 3 rows, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. So this should end up being a 3 by 5 matrix, 3 rows by 5 columns. Okay, so I'm going to just try and start with a bracket big enough for that. Jonathan is row 1. He sells 10 milk chocolate, 8 almond, 4 crispy, 6 caramel, and 3 dark. Taylor sells 9 milk chocolate, 4 almond, 11 crispy, 15 caramel, and no dark chocolate. So we'll put a 0 there. We don't just leave an empty space. Chris sells 2 milk chocolate, 1 almond, 1 crispy, 2 caramels, and 1 dark chocolate bar to his mom. Alright, we have our 3 rows and our 5 columns. Now what if I were to ask you what a certain number represents? Let's call this matrix M. M for matrix. So what if I want to know what is represented in M2, 3? Sometimes some people will put a comma there. 2, 3. It doesn't have to. I guess it depends on how big your matrix is, because if you have a number of rows or columns bigger than like 10 or bigger, then you might not be able to tell the difference. Like if you had to write a 10 for the rows, 13 for the columns, a comma is helpful so that you know where one number ends and the other one begins. Okay, so row 2, column 3 would refer us to this number right here, right? And what that means is Taylor, because Taylor was row 2, Taylor sells 11 crispy candy bars. So the purpose of a matrix is to make it easier to organize our data, especially to make it easier so we can stick it in some sort of technology, some sort of matrix calculator, right? However, it does us no good to use the data for something and use it in a calculator if we don't know what it represents. So even though we've written this whole thing without any indication of what things mean, that is extra information that we don't forget about, so that at any time we can identify what is meant by the item we're talking about. That's the whole point of math and problem solving, is it has a purpose. It's not just random numbers, right?